Hey everyone, welcome back to Outside of Work. I am incredibly excited for today's guest, Keturah Orji. She is a professional athlete with an impressive track and field career. Let me just read it off. Let me get my handy dandy iPad. Listen to this. Three-time Olympian, two-time Olympic finalist, 10-time U.S. champion, American record holder in the triple jump, NCAA Woman of the Year, Bowerman Award winner. Basically, the Bowerman is the Heisman Trophy of the track and field world, so it's a big deal. 8-time NCAA champion, Collegiate Woman of the Decade. Whew! Let me catch my breath. This woman is phenomenal. And despite all these accolades, to me, she's just Keturah. We've been friends for 13 years. We met back in high school. I'm so proud of everything she's accomplished, but most of all, I'm so happy we've been able to remain friends for all these years. In this episode, she drops some gems, y'all. Like what her dad taught her about remaining true to herself, even when she becomes literally the best triple jumper in US history. How she became financially savvy and paid herself as a pro athlete just in case she got injured. Because y'all, in track and field, if you don't compete, you don't get paid. We also talk about how her mom is basically a psychic, y'all, predicting some of Keturah's career successes and how she prayed over Keturah and her siblings. And this part cracks me up. While this show is called Outside of Work, Keturah is basically retiring as a pro athlete and Olympian to become a normie like the rest of us. I can't wait for you all to hear her take on this transition. Oh, and the biggest tip of all, don't eat jollof rice at the airport. I feel like that should go unsaid, but we gotta say it. Anyways, enjoy this episode. Here's Keturah. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I was sick on Monday, so I'm a little bit tired.
You were sick on Monday. What happened?
I think I got a stomach bug from what I ate in the Seattle airport, so I was throwing up all Monday.
That sounds like the worst thing in the world. What did you eat? Do you remember?
Yeah, I got African food at an airport. I never seen African food at an airport, so I
See,
was so excited.
that's where you went wrong. That's where
And
you
then it
went
came
wrong.
out, and I was like, this doesn't look good. But I ate it still, because you know me,
But you
I'm
ate
going
it
to eat it.
anyway.
And yeah, and then I threw it up Monday.
Oh no. You risked it all for some jollof. No, I'm kidding. What was
It
it?
was jollof. It was jollof, plantain, and salmon.
I knew
And
it. I knew it.
yeah,
Oh, you know what? It's all right though. You learn lessons and you keep it pushing.
you would be
And at
disgraced
least,
if you saw the
yeah,
picture.
at least it was after the trials. Because can you imagine?
Yeah, that's what Keyshawn said too. He was like, "Thank God this wasn't during the trials, because I was out."
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's bananas. But anyhow, Keturah, thank you for joining me on Outside of Work, where we explore who we truly are outside of our job titles. And I think you, out of a lot of people I know, do this the best. You're like, I am more than an athlete, and you make it known. Like, was that always important to you starting out?
Yeah, it was definitely always important to me, and I think that it became more and more important to me as I became more successful because I
Oh,
saw even more how people kind of want to throw you into that box of like you are your accomplishments. And so as I continued to gain more and more accomplishments, I was like, you guys are not going to label me as an athlete. I do more than that. And if I didn't accomplish all I did on this in the sport and in track and field, I would still be who I am. So that's very important to me.
and I guess I kind of want you to go a bit deeper in that. Like, why? So some people, like especially reaching the level that you have been at now, you're a three-time Olympian. Like, how? Why? And the people would love it. They'd be like, yeah, this is all I am. This how that's all I will ever be.
Yeah, I think it has to do with people treating you differently based off what you've accomplished. And so I
Yeah.
want people to get to know me for who I am. And if you like me, you like me. And if you don't, you don't. That's okay. But I don't want people to just be like, oh, she's accomplished this. So, like, I like her. I want to be friends with her. I want to be around her. I want people to really get to know who I am.
You wanted to surround yourself with genuine people who liked you, whether or not you accomplished something or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? But let's take it back because I think I'm starting out as if everybody knows who you are and like, what you've accomplished. But before we get into like all the track stuff, I like to ask people, if I were to just ask you, who are you? How would you answer that?
Ooh, that's hard. um,
Yeah.
I would say I am a Black woman. I have three siblings. I'm Nigerian American. I'm a financial planner. I am a three-time Olympian, American record holder. I'm the NCAA Woman of the Year. I am kind, honest, straightforward, direct, caring. Yeah, I think I could go on and on, but I'll stop there.
All the things, all the things. But I like how you started off with, I'm a Black woman. Is that what you want everyone to know, like straight away, like I'm a Black woman, and then you went on to your family, and then yeah, the rest.
I think that's just what comes to mind first when people are like, "Who are you?"
Yeah,
I guess it's just like gender and race is the first thing I think of.
that's fair. That's fair. And then like track and everything else kind of like comes after that.
And
Yeah,
then my
yeah.
personality traits started to come out too.
Okay. Kind. What was that? What was the other?
Genuine, honest, direct, caring.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. I was waiting for you to say like God fearing or something in there too.
Yeah, I left that out. I am a Christian.
Let's let everyone know who you are. So let's go all the way back to the beginning. You are a very highly decorated track and field athlete right now, but let's like go all the way back to where it started.
When I like first started like sport, or how far back are we going?
Ooh, how far back do you want to go? Do you want to go back to gymnastic days or do we just want to go straight to like freshman year of high school?
We can go into gymnastics. I think it shaped
Yeah.
who I am as an athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started gymnastics. I think I was in third or fourth grade. And I just started out doing classes as like most people that do gymnastics do, like where it's like you do 1 hour of like learning tricks and things. But as I did that, my coaches noticed that I was like super talented. And so they were like, she should do competitive gymnastics. So I tried out for the team, did the team. They were like, she's super talented. She should skip some levels. Like we should take her through some levels and skip her through some levels. So I started out like
What
level
does
four.
that mean? Like, how good were you that they were like, yeah, no, she needs to skip some stuff because gymnastics is hard.
I guess I picked up on the skills. So I started out at level 4, and there's like certain skills you have to do in each level. And
Okay, so okay,
I think I was picking up on the skills very quickly. So like, let's say I could like level 5, you have to learn how to do a cartwheel or something like that. It's like I immediately
okay,
picked up a cart. Like it took me a day to learn a cartwheel, and then they're like, okay, learn a round off back handspring, and like I was picking up those
yeah.
things quickly. So I pretty much like skipped through level 5, 6, 7 like extremely quickly because I think all those
Wow.
skills were like very easy for me.
Do you think it was all like natural or was it just more fun for you?
I think it was both. It was natural and it was also fun because I didn't when I was just starting, like I didn't really know the pressure or anything of it. So I was just like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's fun to be bouncy and flip around and do all these things.
especially in third, fourth grade, of course. Like, hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you leveled up, skipping all these steps, and then where did you end up? Level 8?
Yes, I was level 8, training level 9 when I quit gymnastics, and that was 8th grade.
Wow. Whoa. Okay, what does that mean? What's level 8 and 9? Because I think I heard somewhere, I read somewhere that they were basically like Olympic prospects, right? Like gymnastics people looking to go to the Olympics. So like, where is level 8 and 9 in comparison to that?
Yeah, so level 10, I think after you finish level 10, you're then considered elite. So that's when you're like training for gymnastics. So I was like training for 2
Dang.
levels below where I would have gone elite. And that's where to me like things started to get a lot crazier. Like the skills and drills and things they wanted me to do, I was like, I'm not gonna do that. Like he want me to let go of the bar and catch it again, but I can't see it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna opt out.
That literally sounds so scary. Like whenever I see them doing it, I'm like, oh, like you hold your breath because are they gonna catch it? And if you don't, you're gonna break your neck.
Yeah. To me, everything else, like all the other skills I did, it kind of felt safe when I was learning them.
Yeah.
But the bar releases was where they really lost me. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that.
You said you lost me. Yeah, that's a no for me, dog.
Yeah. That's really where fear got a hold of me.
I don't blame you. My God, some of the things they do, even just like the back handspring thingy, I'd be like, where are we going with this, Or you twirl in the air and then you land. Could you do that?
Yeah, so on the floor, if you go down my Instagram feed, I actually went back to the gym a couple years ago, and so I can still do a
Yeah.
round off back handspring full twisting layout. And that was, see, that one was really fun. Like I enjoyed that. And you learn it going into a pit first. So like even if you
Uh-huh.
can't land it, you land in like a really fluffy pit, and then eventually you get better and better, and you can
Then
land
you
it on the
get
floor.
better. Sometimes you know how you look back on your childhood and you're like, what if I did this? What if I did that? Maybe I could have really liked it or something. I think gymnastics is one of those things that I'm like, I feel like I have enough quad strength to that would have been fun.
It's funny that you went to the quads. I'm like, what? Why the quads?
I don't know. They just have nice quads. Who knows? It's all of it. But then again, they probably kick me out because I'm not flexible. You know that.
Yeah, but they teach you everything. Like I don't think I was naturally flexible. Actually, my
Yeah.
flexibility was weak in some aspects. They're like, "Can you stretch at home?" And I was like, "Okay," and I just kept going about my life.
Didn't happen. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then the pressure of gymnastics, understandably, were too much for you. So you're like, you know what? I'm done. Did you still want to do a sport?
Yes, so
Because I
that's
mean, yeah, because gymnastics is like what, 5 hours of your day all the time, or some crazy amount of hours. I can't imagine you just go to from 100 to 0.
yeah. Track felt like a breeze compared to gymnastics because our practices were 4 hours, and we practiced 20 hours a week. And like during summers, there's
Oh
no
my
off
god.
season either for gymnastics. You train year round, and so I remember like my summers, we'd have like a summer camp that was like 9 to 4, like a job. Like of course you take lunch breaks and things like that, but you're literally at the gym all day. And
That's
so
insane.
yeah, I decided to when I after quitting gymnastics, I decided to start track, and track felt like a breeze because it's like right after school you don't have to drive anywhere. Like right after school, you just walk down to the track, practice about
Yep.
2 hours. You can take the bus home. We're
Yep.
good. Like I was like, this is wonderful. And the reason I decided to do track is because in recess in elementary school, I was always really fast, like faster than the boys. And so I was like, I can be a sprinter, could be the next Allison Felix, and that's why I joined the track team.
Let's go. Yeah, I mean, from going from 4 hours of practice to just, Ben Fatty yelling at us all the time. That's definitely a breeze. To me, that was trauma. I'm like, I'm over here dying. But you're like, that's it. This is all the this is all the craziness.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What kind of discipline do you think they transferred over from gymnastics to track and field?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that gymnastics taught me is repeating the same thing over and over again at a high level. So in
Okay.
gymnastics, like you're trying to do an extremely difficult drill and you're trying to do it at a perfect 10.0. You're trying to do everything perfect. And so you repeat it over and over and over and over again until you can nail it perfectly, which like
Yeah.
obviously is a little bit unrealistic. So some toxic mental habits created there. But
I was
really
gonna say.
great for like triple jump or long jump where it's like you're literally
Yeah.
trying to repeat the same approach exactly the same, or you're trying to repeat the same jump exactly the same. You're trying to execute specific things in the air like you would in the middle of a skill in gymnastics.
That's so true. Yeah, I mean, triple jump too, like you literally count your steps. And then you have the three phases and then you go in. And so yeah, it's kind of perfecting that. Well, good for you because I remember when we would do the long jump, triple jump together, I'd have my marker, but I'd always like foul or like it's over and then we gotta move it back by this much. Just like and then it's still over. I mean, I know for you it hasn't always been consistent, but I guess it's doing that basic training to hone that skill, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I will say, I feel like I've lost it a little bit. Like, I feel like I probably was better at it in high school and going into college
Oh,
because
lost what?
lost my ability to repeat things as well as I used to be able to. Because when I was doing gymnastics, I feel like it was so drilled into me that like
Yeah.
translating it over during like high school and like beginning of college, it was easy because I had done it so much. But I feel like as I've gone on and on throughout the years, I've kind of lost that skill that gymnastics created in me because I got further and further from when I had to do that.
So it's more of a time thing instead of like a discipline thing?
Yes, because I like there were things we did in gymnastics to me that reinforced the skill, and so because I was no longer
Hmm.
doing it within track, it didn't. I feel like I lost the skill. Because for example, like sometimes in
Yeah.
gymnastics we do something where it's like you have to land the skill 5 times in a row. If you fall doing the skill, you restart from zero. So like doing things like that like creates something in you that you can like redo things like at a high level. And so that's what I'm saying. Like
I
going
take
into
it
high
back.
school and like early college, I feel like I still had that skill. But then I didn't do it again. And like gymnastics, eighth grade was the last time I did it. So now I'm getting further and further from eighth
Yeah.
grade.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I take it back. I don't think I would have done well in gymnastics. Let's be real. What? Start all over after? Imagine you're on the number five, and then you like mess it up. Now you expect me to start it all over?
Yep. That's what
That's a
training
wrap
was
for
like.
me. That's a wrap for me, dog.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now this is putting everything into like such a better perspective for me, especially when it comes to discipline. That's insane. Um, Now let's talk about how we met because I'm pretty sure it was freshman. I'm pretty sure we have two differing stories on this actually. So I'll let you go first.
I feel like you should tell the story because I don't really remember it. I just remember you told me. I feel like I remember the story that you told me.
I'm glad it was so important to you. No, I'm kidding. It was okay. The way I remember it was remember every year we had to like turn in a physical.
Hmm.
Yeah, so or like whatever you could get a physical done with the nurse at the school. I believe that's what it
Hmm.
was. Yeah, and so you were a freshman, just and we were like sitting outside the nurse's office, and I was a junior, and I was also sitting out there, and I think we were sitting next to each other, and like you just like turn over, you're like, "Hi, what are you here for?" And I'm like, "Oh, track and field." And I'm like, "Oh, is it like your first time?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's my first year. I'm kind of nervous." And so that's what I remember our first interaction being, like literally at the nurse in front of the nurse's office. And then obviously as like the season began, then we started talking more and stuff. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah. And I have the memory of you telling me that story. So I don't even know what my old memory used to be.
You're like, yeah, it's my memory too, exactly to a T.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so done. Um, and then okay, and then so now you're in track, and what events did you do at first?
So I did everything but the triple jump. I did like
Yeah, I remember that wasn't
hurdles.
until the second year.
Yeah, I did hurdles 100, 200, 400, 55, 300, all the relays, shot put, high jump. Like I literally tried
Mhm.
everything except for the triple jump.
Which is funny because Benfatti was our coach. Benfatti, she was trying to get you into everything. She was like, "This girl has skills. I don't know what the heck she's good at, so she's about to do everything," um, which was so it looked exhausting. I gotta say, at track meets.
It was fun when you're younger. Again, like you have the energy, your body feels good. So I don't think I minded it. I mean, I always
Yeah.
minded the 400, but
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I remember that too. It's almost like every single event you did, you would break a record, a school record. And it was like your first time trying it too. And all of us track girlies who've been doing it since we're like zero, we're like, are you kidding me right now? Like, what is happening?
I always I always tell parents that like if you got it, you got it. Because sometimes parents are like, I'm gonna put my child into this. I'm gonna help them work with this special coach. And I'm like, listen, if your child got it, they got it. It don't matter what
They-
coach they got or nothing.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So then how did you get Benfatti to let you do the triple jump finally?
Yeah, so my sophomore year, we were at some like dual meet or something. I don't know. It was an important meet. And I was watching
Yeah.
people triple jump, and I was like, "Ben Fatty, please just let me try it. I know that I can do it." And I showed her, I think she asked me to show on the side, like, let me see the phases. This is like before she let me do it. She's like, let me see the phases to see if
Mhm.
you know how to do it. And I did like the hop, step,
Of
and the
course.
jump. And I'm like, you see, I can do it. And so she's like, whatever, go try it. And so I tried it, and I broke the school record like that
Literally the first
day.
try, I remember.
Yeah, I broke the school
Yep.
record that day, and then like the next meet, I broke like the county record or something, and that was when we knew triple jump was for me.
And these were like years long records, like on there since before we were even like starting school. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember because I did triple jump too, obviously. And I remember your first jump. I was like, nah, this girl, this is a wrap. Like, I don't even know why I'm here right now. It's gonna be her first jump, and I already know it's gonna be longer than mine that I've ever done. And yeah, of course it was. I don't know. I thought it was awesome. And I think throughout this whole thing of like you getting better and better and better, we started to, become closer friends. And so like while people saw you, I was like, oh, this track star, Keturah, oh, she's so good. Da, da, da. I was like, yeah, that's just Keturah. I don't know what to tell you. Like it was just us two. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of
That's
my
fun.
friends often say that, and I really appreciate when my friendships are like that, where it's like people don't see me. My friend doesn't see me for the accolades, and like sometimes people ask me like, what does your family say about this? And I'm like, I don't talk about track with my family. Like that's something that I do, but it's not a big part of who I am to them. And so it doesn't matter. Like they don't know when the next competition is. They don't know how I did my last competition because we're not
Yeah.
talking about track. We're talking about other things because I'm a human being to them.
Exactly. And I'm sure some people will be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Like how can you deal with that?"
Yeah, people do say that, but like it's just always how it's been, and I love that because there's times when you need a break from the sport. There's times where you don't want to talk about it. Like when it's such a big part of your life, it's like I don't want to have
Yeah.
a conversation with someone about track again. Like I talk about that all day. So like it's nice to just be like I'm a normal person.
Yeah, I'm this and that. And how did you continue to remain true to Keturah when you became pro?
I would say that's probably from my dad. I don't think I even really had to try. I think being genuine is just in who I am.
Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
dad, I think being able to observe him be consistent in all areas of life, like no matter where he went, he was always going to be himself. I think that
Mm.
allowed me and freed me to know that like I don't have to change who I am for people to accept me. People may not like you, but that doesn't matter. You can still be true to who you are. So I think it's mostly my dad that I have to thank for that.
Oh, what were you seeing him do specifically?
I wouldn't say there's anything I saw him do specifically, but like if I observed other people, I would see like, oh, when they're with their family, they act like this. When they're with their friends, they act like this. When they're in professional situations, they act like this. But with my dad, I would see him in all these different locations and he would be the same exact way.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting because a lot of us like just automatically code switch for the environment that we're in. I see it more as like a way of like survival in a way. Okay, like for example, for me, like in working in TV, if I were just like my blunt self, like I usually am, with you and like with some other people, I have a feeling that it wouldn't work out too well. But now that you say this, I kind of wonder like, is that all in my head? Do we necessarily need to do that? Or is that just something we've told ourselves?
Well, I definitely think you still need to like code switch and like you can't always be 100% of yourself, but I would say I have like two personas you could say. Either I'm
Okay.
silent or I'm
Uh-huh.
Katora. But it's never like Katora is going to speak and not be herself. So like I can be very shy around people like I'm not comfortable with. So like I can walk into a room and not say anything to anyone. And so that's like the shy, uncomfortable, I don't feel safe in this space type of Katora.
Yeah.
And then you have the other Katora that's like very comfortable and going to be like 100% true to herself. So I'd say it's still important, especially being a black person. Like it's still important to code switch and like operate in a certain way in this world
Yeah.
because we have to. But in spaces that I can be 100% myself, I am going to be it. I'm not going to change who I am so that other people accept me.
I dig it. You're either silent or you're Katora. So is Katora loud? I'm saying that like I don't know.
I guess so. I guess so. At times I can be.
Who is your true self? Like if you're just being, it's just you and your husband Kashan. Who like what are you?
Um, Talkative, which is so funny because some people are like, she's so quiet. I'm definitely talkative.
And real fast too.
Yes.
I'm like, what would you say?
See, and that's another way that I know how well you know me because my little sister, no matter how fast I talk,
Yes.
she can understand me. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you for translating.
Nah, she's had more years to practice. That's why. It was like a second language of her growing up. She's like Keturah, yeah.
Yes, yes. But yeah, laughing, like kind of like how we are right now, like laughing a lot, very talkative, jokey. I love like really deep conversations, so like talking about things that like really matter, I guess you could say, and not like I don't like small talk, like how are you doing today,
Yeah,
or where are you from? What color is the sky? Like I'm like, all
yeah.
right, we can move on. Yeah, so I would say that's me. You can just, how about you describe me?
How about I describe you? I would say same thing. Yeah, if we're like in close company, yeah, you are rambunctious. You you let your opinions fly, but still, we talk through things. It's just a good time. You love playing games. If there's ever an opportunity to play games,
Yes.
and have a conversation through that, that's like your number one love language. Um,
Yes.
and then yeah, but I definitely get why you're more quiet in like settings that you're not too comfortable with. I mean, that totally makes sense. I just feel like that's a human thing to do. I feel as if sometimes I, get into those modes too. I get a bit quiet because I'm trying to observe kind of how people are talking, what they're talking about. Can I put some input? For me though, I think it's more toxic because I'm trying to gauge how people are acting so I can match it.
Mm,
Whereas in, I feel if you're not with the vibes, you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna be here.
mm.
There's not really much for me to contribute. Would you say that's true?
For you or for me?
No, for you. Like if you're just not feeling the vibe, you're not gonna try to conform to the people who are there.
Yes. I think the number one thing I look for is if you're being genuine. If the person's being genuine, then I know that I can be genuine and this is a safe space.
How can you tell?
I guess it's intuition. I guess it's something deep within me that tells me. But I feel like I can always tell when someone's putting on an act. Yeah. Sometimes it takes time too. Sometimes you have to observe people in different, like I said with my dad, observe people in different situations. And when they're consistent enough, you're like, okay, this is who they are.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so now, why did you decide to go pro?
This is funny because I feel like there wasn't a decision. I feel like it was just easy. Like it just kind of fell into
Yeah,
place. So I wouldn't
it
say
was
there
a
was like,
natural progression.
I wouldn't say there's an active like, okay, I'm deciding to do this. It was just like I'm doing really well. I'm excelling at a high level. I've been making, or like in college, I made Olympic teams. I was able to make world championship teams. So like I'm already doing the pro stuff while in college. So like, why wouldn't I just go into it? Um, so yeah, it was like just a natural progression, I would say.
Even knowing that field athletes don't get the same type of attention, same type of pay, all of that, you're still in?
Yeah, so I do know that I told myself like if I don't get paid a certain amount, I will quit track. So luckily enough, I got paid enough that I was like, I'm going to keep doing this. Yeah, and the U.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah,
I mean, you've been able to make it work for how long has it been now? 10 years? I don't know how long you've
I've
been
only
pro
been pro
for.
for
Honestly,
5
I don't.
years. It's funny because I've been making teams for so long, but I've only been pro for 5 years. I went pro in 2019. That's when well, I guess you could say half of 2018. I graduated college in 2018, but my first full pro year was 2019.
Would you consider 2016 pro?
Because I was
No.
still in college. That was my first Olympic team, but I was still in college. I wasn't
I
getting
guess that's what I'm
paid.
thinking of.
Yeah, I wasn't getting
Okay.
paid for work, unfortunately. Now the college athletes get NILs and everything. They get their prize money at U.S. championships.
Which is, I mean, great for them. But looking back at you, I'm like, oh my God. Like, you could have been building this whole empire, like, from the start. I'm sorry, you didn't get paid for 2016 Olympics?
College athletes were not allowed to receive compensation. But I did hear, I don't know if y'all heard about this. There's some new thing coming out where they're gonna like back up to
I was gonna
2016.
say,
Run me my money. Go
get your
dogs.
money.
Go
Get your
dogs.
money.
University of Georgia. I know y'all got that bag. Send it
Y'all
my
got
way.
coins. You got
Send
sponsors.
it
I know
my
y'all got
way.
money.
Send it my way. Bowerman Award winner. Y'all know me. Send the money my way.
Okay. Literally, when when I visited you in Athens, I'm pretty sure there was a freaking billboard of you. I'm like, they know who you are. They know who
Send
you
the
are.
money my way. Need that check.
That is bananas to me. Wow. What do you think of that? Like college athletes now being able to profit on their
Love it
names.
for them. Love it for
Yeah.
them. In 2000, I'm gonna tell a funny story. In 2016, actually, this is not funny. This is sad. In 2016, when I made the Olympics, my mom started a GoFundMe to be able to pay for my family to go,
Yeah.
and the NCAA shut it down, saying that it was using name, image, likeness to raise money. Now, luckily, like the people at the University of Georgia really fought for it, and my mom was able to like keep it going and able to pay for like my family to go support me. But I just think it's unbelievable that like the NCAA and the university could use my name and make money off of it. But then like my family, not even for me specifically, for my family to try to
Yeah.
come to the biggest competition in my sport to support me. And they were trying to shut that down. I was just like, this is unbelievable. So I am 100% for name, image, likeness, all the deals they can get, all the money, run it up. Because
Run it up.
if you've accomplished that, if you have the followers, if you have the publicity, you should be able to benefit off that. It's you. Why wouldn't you be able to
Yeah.
benefit off of that?
That's crazy. They really tried to shut it down. And if I remember, did your family end up going?
Yep. Yeah, because it was allowed to, like, they were allowed to reopen it. They did this whole thing and then they reopened it and my mom could use the money. So my whole family was able to support me in Rio.
Which she got fourth, by the way, by centimeters. Centimeters.
Yes.
Oh, I
Yes.
still go back and I'm like, ah, and it was that woman's last jump too. I'm sorry, let me not take us back to those times. But
Yeah.
I remember. Wow, that's crazy. Now you've been able to make a living as an athlete for 5 years because you're just financially savvy. I think I don't know when I look at it, you the way you handle your finances compared to like some other athletes I see is way more responsible. Like, where does that come from?
Yeah, and that goes into my financial planning degree. So I learned so much about managing my finances in college. And also my husband's a CPA, and so he knows a bunch about like businesses and managing money. And so to
He
get
has like a new business every year.
yeah. You need to get him on the podcast. You need to get him on the podcast because he's unbelievable.
Outside of work, he works. That's what he does. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but I got distracted. What were we talking about?
How you're so good at your finances. It's your
Oh
financial
yes.
planning background as well as Kashan's CPA.
Yeah, and so like right out of college, I was able to form my own business and then become an employee of that business and like pay myself a salary, which helped me to like start saving for retirement, and helps me save on taxes too. So I think I was just able to set up a lot early on that maybe people would have found out about later on after like meet more people, talk to a few more people. But because I had been studying financial planning and then also with Keyshawn's help, I was able to set up a lot from the beginning.
Break it down. Well, I guess you don't have to do like numbers or whatever, but how much were you paying yourself from the money you were earning from jumping?
So I remember my first year I remember I had heard a former, well, I guess you're never a former Olympian. I'd heard another Olympian once speak about how like you always want to make sure you have a salary set aside in case you get injured in sport because like you can't make when you're injured you can't make money for a year versus like in other careers like you can continue to make money. And so I think I severely underpaid myself like my first 2 years compared to what I made because I wanted to set aside like a year of salary. So I'd probably say like my first year, I probably paid myself 50% of what I made or
Okay.
something around that. But the nice thing is that I never had a full year of an injury. And so I still have the 1 year set aside. And so after I retire this year, I'll still have like some money left over to like pay myself and continue to work part-time as a financial planner. And I'm going to use that money to like travel and see friends and like just enjoy my like I guess you could say like backpacking year. I don't know what to call it, but in between like
Your
being an
gap
elite,
year.
yeah, gap year, in between being an elite athlete and like moving on to like another career. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So like even when you started, you were like already thinking ahead, like obviously track is not going to be the end all be all. So I need to better prepare myself for the future. And in doing that, now you can spend this whole year catching up on life.
Yeah. Which you can't really do, but yeah. Trying to make
Yeah.
up for all the time I spent
Trying,
prioritizing track.
I was gonna say, yeah, yeah, yeah. And honestly, that's the whole reason why I started this podcast channel, whatever you want to call it, outside of work, because you saw me for 8 years, 8.5 years. It was grind, grind, grind in TV. Yes, I'm gonna work weekends, overnights, this, that, and the third. And you sacrifice all this time with your family and friends, in hopes of gaining something bigger or, achieving something great. But then you look back at all this time that you lost. And now you're right. Now is the time where you're like, okay, at least I could try and make up for it by being more present, you know?
For sure.
Did that ever weigh on you? For me, it weighs on me so heavy.
Um, I don't know. That's a hard question because like I wouldn't say like if I could go back, I wouldn't do the things I did. Like to me, I put in 100% effort because I wanted the certain results, and so like I wouldn't go back and be like, oh, just give 50%. That way you can like balance your life more. But I would say I could have been more present within all the moments that I went through. So like specifically like the Olympics. When I went in 2016, I was so excited to be there, but I was so nervous and I wanted to perform well. Like there were just so many nerves around it. And when I went in Tokyo, I was like, oh, this is my year. I could win a medal. This is my second time being here, and I'm more advanced. I know more. So like again, a lot of pressure. And then also it was a COVID Olympics, so like there were no fans there, and then we had to like arrive a certain amount of days before and leave a certain amount of days after, so I couldn't do opening or closing ceremony. And so like Paris this year, like I am going to enjoy it. Whatever results happen are the results that happen. I'm putting the best effort I can into that, but I'm also going to enjoy it because like this is so rare. Like being able to go to Olympics 3 times is so rare. Being able to be an American record holder, a 10-time US champion, like I think I took those things for granted, especially when I was younger. But now that I'm older and like my body doesn't feel as great as it used to, and I've been through so many coaching changes and I can't perform as well as I would like, I'm like, listen, I've done so much and I'm happy with what I've done. And so like I'm not
Okay.
gonna put any more pressure or like anxiety on myself to do something. Like I'm just gonna enjoy the moment.
That is so fair. That is so fair. Yeah, because you put in 100%, and you knew what you were getting yourself into. And yeah, you should be proud and enjoy this moment. That's
Yeah.
going to be so cool.
Yeah.
You say if you were to go back, you wouldn't, change much. But looking back, if you were to, what would you say is the one area that you would have liked to change?
Like you're saying like a decision I made or something?
I guess I'm thinking more of like coaching. I wanted you to say it. I didn't want to say it.
Well, I'm not gonna say any names, but going back, there is a specific coach that I probably would have. Now that I know everything I know and been through all these coaches, there is a specific coach that I know I could have stayed with. Now knowing everything.
What did they do that you just didn't jive with?
Actually, there wasn't anything I didn't jive with. It's just, I guess I don't want to say too much because it's gonna give away who it is. So I'm not. I'm gonna leave it there. But offline, I could. If you want to talk about it more, we could do that.
That'll be on the paid version of this one. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want the tea. I want the tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. But we got along.
Oh,
The big thing is that like we got along.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like this year you look so good. Like I was watching with Andre, and I'm just like, I could like your abs are popping out. I could count each one of them now. Where before you were just fit, But now I could count every single one. Your booty's huge, but you're tiny. TV.
No, my booty is huge.
It looks good, especially that last outfit you wore at the trial. I was like, that looks good.
I'm done. I'm done. Podcast is over. The podcast ended when you said my booty looks huge.
It's like your booty look good. That's what all girls want now. They want a nice butt. You just get it. Training too much.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's never been said in a podcast I've been on. Thank you. Watch out, Kim. Watch out, Kim Kardashian. I'm coming for you.
Exactly. Kim's got nothing. That's all fake. She could never. She could never. But no, you look good, you know?
Thank
And so
you.
I'm always like curious. Um, it's just like with the different coaching and maybe age too. I don't know. Like seeing your body change like that and then now after you're done, how's your body gonna look? I'm so curious.
Yeah, so the thing that's different about this year is I've been tracking my food and like weighing my food and like doing like the macros where like you count your carbs and protein and fats and all of that. Because I've been trying to get my body fat down. Like this is the most DEXA scans I've ever done in a year, which DEXA scans like measure your body fat and like how much muscle mass you have. Um, and so yeah, I would say that it probably involves a little bit of starvation. I wouldn't recommend. I will not be eating like this when I finish this season. But that's why
Goodbye
you can
abs.
see
You'll
all
just be a
that.
flat stomach.
That's why you can
Yeah.
see every single ab. That's why you can count the abs because
I was
I'm
gonna
counting the
say.
calories.
Was it a coaching decision? Was that what it was?
Yeah, my coach wanted me to get a DEXA, and then after the DEXA, he was like, "Okay, I think you can get down to this body fat." And then I started working with a dietitian that like recommended the
Yeah.
macros. So
Did that help with your jumping?
it's funny because like people are like, "You look so fit, you look so powerful," and I'm like, "Listen, I don't do the triple jump to look good. I do the triple jump to jump far."
To jump far.
And yeah, I won, not won. I got second place at Olympic trials with 14:22. And for
On her last jump or
context,
whatever, it's fine. Yeah.
and for context,
Again.
last year I got second with 14:43, and the year before that I won with 14:79. And so
Oh, dang.
it's like yeah, the looks are looking, but the jumps are not
I'm
jumping.
not
But I'm
jumping.
committed to the
And
process. I got about a month and a half left in this. I'm
yeah.
committed to the process. And like I said, whatever results come, but at least I look good doing it. If I'm going to jump
And
14:20, at least I look good.
I was gonna say. And that fit looked good too. I was like, I'm about to steal that. That was nice. Um, yeah, because your best is what, 14.9? 14.98
Yeah,
meters, by the way. Yeah.
14.92 meters.
0.92 meters, which is like what, 49 feet?
Yep, right underneath 49. 48 feet, 11 inches, right underneath 49.
48 feet. Imagine jumping 48 feet, 11 inches. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. If I were to do that now, I'll pull the other hamstring.
Oh, man.
But anyways, this is about outside of work. I'm done with track. Wait, no, wait. Let's go back. Because you said a statistic that I wanted to look back at in our conversation, and I saw the stat. Only a fraction of the world's population, 0.0001%, will ever earn the right to call themselves an Olympian. So just one time is 0.00001%. Multiply that by 3, I can't do math, but there's probably more zeros in front of that. It's like impossible. So what you're doing is not an easy feat. And to stay at the top of your game, going into age 20, how old are you now?
28.
Going into age 28, that's not easy. You know?
I appreciate that.
I just want to give an applause to that.
I appreciate that.
Of course. So let's talk about once you're done and when, because you're competing the third?
Mm-hmm.
The second and third, or the third and fourth?
Second and third.
August 2nd and 3rd. And then the closing ceremonies are on the 11th. So from August 4th to the 11th in Paris, what will you be, and afterwards, what will you be doing to enjoy Paris a little bit?
I'm not 100% sure. So I've seen the Eiffel Tower before, but Keyshawn will be there. So like maybe he'll want to go visit. Gentrix will be there too. So like we could all go to
Spoiler alert.
So maybe we could also go see the Eiffel Tower again in person. I've never seen it at night before, but I know it lights up at night, so that could be cool. I want to see some more sports. So like I'd love to go to a gymnastics session. I actually really enjoy handball, which I was introduced to at gym. But I might go to a handball session.
Which is so random. All right, I'm
Yes.
coming to that one. Give me a free pass. Give me your extra pass.
And then other than that, I don't really know, but I'm gonna, if they're having it, I'm going to it. Just know that. They're like,
I
oh,
love it.
the Olympian's house. Yep, I'll be there.
Mm,
Everything they're
okay.
having, I'm going to because this is my last one and I'm never gonna be able to experience it again. And I didn't do all these things at the others. So I'm like, now is the time to do everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
whatever I can find, that's what I'll be doing.
Oh my God, it's gonna be so fun. I think they have like, isn't breakdancing now like a sport or something?
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
in this one. Is it in this one or 2028?
I I think it's in. Wait, I could have sworn it was in this one, or maybe I'm thinking of something
It might be
else. I
in
could
this
have
one.
sworn
It might be in this one.
Anyways, I love it. We're gonna have so much fun. It's gonna be my first time in a different country in Europe because I've only been to London.
I didn't think I knew that. You're very well
Yeah.
traveled, but I guess you don't go to Europe often.
For what? Does the rest of the world? Um, Europe has never been a priority for me for some reason. I don't know.
You've got to go to
Yeah.
Portugal. I just got to say that.
I know. I wanted to go with you. Was it last year
Yeah,
or
last year we
yeah,
went.
last year, but the timing just didn't work out. I do want to go to. I was supposed to be in Rome to do my marathon, but then I jacked up my knee because age, and just like not strength training. But yeah, Paris will be my second European location. So I'm excited, use a little français that I learned in high school. Even though I hear they're mean. Are they mean?
Yeah, I've heard that too several times. So like I don't think it's a one-time experience thing. I think they are. At least to like non-French people. They're mean to
Non-French,
non-French
yeah.
people, yeah.
And like when you try to speak French, I hear that they're like, mais non, I could just speak to you in English.
Oh yeah. I've heard bad stories. So we'll see. We'll see what behavior they're on for the Olympics.
Yeah, we shall see. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But afterwards, it's funny because this is called Outside of Work, which talks about who we are outside of our jobs. And you're about to retire early at 28 as an Olympian to then go into another job. So you have kind of a unique perspective. But for you, does it feel like a job still? Or does it feel like, oh, wow, this is so much easier than like being a freaking Olympian, but then being a pro athlete?
Um, that's hard. I think what's nice about the job outside of track is like first of all the money, like when I log in for 3 hours, I'm getting paid for 3 hours. In
Yeah.
track, you can put a lot of hours and not get paid. So like the nice thing is like I'm logging in and I'm like I'm getting paid for this work. And then also I feel like it's a nice like mental space like away from track where it's like I'm just going to look at these numbers, I'm going to look at these financial documents, I'm going to help these people accomplish their financial goals and like
Yeah.
I don't have to think about anything else. So sometimes it's like a nice I don't know, a night. It's weird because I'm going onto the computer, but like to me it's like a break away from other things.
It's a break for you from other things. That is so interesting. And I know you're part-time right now, but you want to go full-time with them?
Yes, I do. Well, I mean, I would like to receive a full-time salary, and I don't think I can receive a full-time salary for part-time work.
Yeah, no, that's not how the real world works.
Yes.
Welcome to the job economy with the rest of us.
Yeah, that's gonna be the thing that's gonna be hardest for me to adjust to because like with track, it's so nice to like lift and do your little track workout and then you come home and you have like the day to yourself and like you can plan out when you want to do things. Like there's just so much freedom within your
Mhm.
schedule, even though like you can't like go visit family and things like that. It's like restricted but also free.
Yeah.
But then on the other side um with working like on a computer, it's like, oh, I'm gonna work all throughout the day. And like, but what's nice is like during breaks, like Christmas or things, like I won't have, this is gonna be my first Christmas and first Thanksgiving where like in the back of my mind, I'm not like, when am I going to the track? Where do I have access to this? How am I gonna be able to get this done? What weight room am I gonna get to? Like, I'm gonna be in Christmas, just enjoy. Everybody's just enjoying, and I'm like, I'm here enjoying too. I'm not going to the track. I'm not going to lift. I'm just
No,
hanging
with your
out.
food, baby. I'm gonna eat all this.
Yeah, like just on a full break. So that's gonna be so nice. So there's like pros and cons to each, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure Kashan's gonna be happy to have you home.
Yes, finally. We've been doing a distance marriage for so long, so I'm coming back to Atlanta and I'm staying.
And you finally living in the house that you paid for.
Yes, we got a new couch. I'm so excited about the new couch.
Mm. For the living room?
Yep.
Oh, you guys send me pictures.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
That's nice. Andre's been begging me for a new couch because don't ask me why. Whenever I'm not here, and so like when I used to when I worked for NBC and they would send me out for like 5 days in Vermont, or like send me out somewhere, whatever, or even just when I go home for the weekend to go visit my family, this man sleeps on the couch. I'm like, sir, what are you doing? Why are you sleeping on the couch? He's like, oh, this is where the big screen is. He got like a big like projector. He got a big projector for a TV, and that's our TV now. I mean, it's nice. It's 120 inches or whatever.
Wow.
And he's like, oh, this is where the TV is. I'm like, we have a TV in our bedroom. Like, what are you
But
doing?
is it 120 inches?
And that's what he would say. And I'm like, but you're complaining about your neck hurting, so I don't want to hear it.
Oh, that's funny.
So he wants a new couch so badly.
So that he can sleep on the couch.
Yes. So he can sleep on the couch comfortably, no neck hurting, back hurting. And then we moved that couch downstairs to the basement and put a TV there so that when he's chilling, I could be down there chilling with him too. I'm like, no, sir, this is extra.
Yeah.
But I did promise him to get a new couch. Ay. Where'd you get yours?
From Wayfair, they had a sale.
That's where we got ours too. I don't like it.
Yeah, so what's funny is our first couch was from Wayfair, and I was like, I'm not buying another couch from them. And then they had a sale, and I was reading the reviews, and I'm like, this couch looks good, and we love it. Well, I haven't experienced it yet, but Keyshawn sent me videos, and so
Yeah.
I'm saying we love it based off him loving it.
You love it, I love it. That's your vibe right now.
I haven't seen it yet, but the reviews were great, and it looks good, so I'm like, it has to be good.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's only a matter of time. It's only 2 more months,
Yeah.
1.5 more months till you try it.
Yeah, and I've noticed that Wayfair is hit or miss. Like they have like a lot of like really great things and a lot of like don't ever buy that things.
Exactly. And I think that's what we did because it's a Wayfair couch.
Yeah.
And no.
Yeah. That was ours.
Definitely should have read the reviews on that one. I let Andre buy it, and whenever we go shopping or anything, this man just picks the first thing. I'm like, you didn't even look at the price. You didn't look at it.
Yeah.
You're just over here buying $20 things. There's 1.5 off right here.
Yeah, that seems a little risky having him just select things, but
But yeah. And so when you get back to enjoy your couch and be home with Kashawn and your friends, what will a regular day look like to you?
yeah, that's funny that you asked because I've been trying to think about this. Like this whole year I've been thinking about what my like day-to-day will look like. And I think the hardest thing to decide on is like what my working out will look like. Well, first of all, I vowed that I'm going to take 6 months off of like organized exercise. Now, like if
Okay.
people invite me to like go play volleyball or pickleball, like things like that, of course I'm going to go to
Yeah.
that. But like I'm not going to go to the gym just to exercise for 6 months. That is my minimum because like my body needs a break. My body's been needing a
Yeah.
break. And then after that, that's when I'm going to try to figure out like, okay, do I like to get up early morning grind, go lift, and then log into work after that because my job is remote? Or will I be like a wake up slowly, drink tea, read my Bible, log into work, and then maybe like a midday type of workout and then like finish up work after that? So I'm interested in seeing what I end up becoming with my schedule, but I'm also excited for being able to like create my own schedule and being able to work out the way I want. Like again, something that I haven't been able to do in years, where it's like today I want to play volleyball, so that's what I'm gonna do for exercise. Today I want to lift weights, and I'm gonna do what weights I want to do, not what's scheduled for me. Like that's never existed for me in my life, so it's just exciting.
This is so freeing. Yeah, literally since 3rd grade, you have not had free will of your workouts at all.
Yep, I show up on the days I'm supposed to and do what is written down. That's what I've been doing my whole life.
Oh my gosh. You is free.
Yeah, even
That's what that
eating,
is.
even eating, I'm like, I don't have to worry about how much protein's in here. I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be chugging, shaking shaker bottles of protein. Like, no, I'm gonna eat when I'm hungry and what I want.
What food are you gonna indulge in without worry?
That's hard because so I've noticed like when I get into off season and like I try to like start eating unhealthy, my body be like, "What are you doing?" So like
Yeah, what's
honestly,
happening?
yeah, I honestly can't just like I can do like a few days of eating bad, but after that I have to go right back into like a super balanced diet because my body will literally be like, "I feel terrible. I'm just gonna lay on the couch. I don't want to do
Yeah.
anything." Um, so yeah, I'm not sure what I would really indulge in, but I do love pizza and ice cream. Like I could see myself doing like pizza weekly post
Okay.
track.
What toppings?
Pepperoni, sausage, onions, green peppers.
Good choices. Good choices. You didn't say pineapple.
Yeah, I'm not a pineapple on pizza girly.
Are you not at all worried about like losing some of the muscle that you've gained?
I'm okay with losing some of the muscle, but I'm gonna lift weightlifting will be a part of my life for the rest of my life because I like how my body looks when I lift weights.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm okay with losing muscle, just not all of the muscle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So safe to say you're not too sad that this is your last year.
No, I wish people could see the day to day because I think people would be able to understand more of why I'm retiring. Because a lot of people are like, 1 more year, you're so young, you can do it. I'm like, listen, I've been through the trenches. The roller coaster of sport. This is why I'm so
Yeah.
defensive of athletes. Don't get online talking about an athlete performance. Do not get online talking about an athlete's performance because you don't know what an athlete goes through day in and day out, besides performing on that day that you watch to try to get to where they are. And athletes do not get like the props that they deserve. It's like all the athletes that like you see get the medals and everything, they get all the glory. But there's a bunch of athletes that do the same thing that the medalists do and don't receive any type of publicity or promotion or like praise for doing that. So do not get online and talk about an athlete's performance because the roller coaster of stuff that we are going through, you couldn't imagine.
You cannot imagine physical, mental, all of that. And then like knowing that if I don't place in this, I don't get paid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get anything. Dang. And then also another part that I always found fascinating is that you were able to use your voice and your vehicle with track and field to talk about issues that you were like really important to you, right? Um, yeah, talk about those issues and why they were so important to you.
Are you referring to my blog or is there something specific you're referring to?
Well, because I know you're like one, yeah, the blog with the finances and everything, but then also just like for women of color, like advocating for them. Yeah, just like using your platform to bring to light the issues that are important to you. And I guess I'm saying that because we were talking about how there's so much more to athletes. And people are always getting on athletes about their performance, and something else that they get on them is that they talk about like maybe social issues or something, people telling LeBron to shut up and dribble, but being able to use your platform for something more.
Yeah, like we've been saying the whole podcast, because I'm more than my sport, I have different opinions and beliefs about things. And because I have a platform where like I have a lot of followers based off my success within triple jump, that gives me the perfect space to share those opinions and open people up to different perspectives and things like that. And so like on my blog specifically, I know I've talked about like what does it mean to be black, because I feel like growing up in a white community, sometimes people will call you an Oreo or say like you lost your
Yeah.
black card revoked, or different things like that. So I wrote a blog about like there is no qualification to being black. Like if you have melanin in your skin, you're black. It doesn't matter if you watched a certain show, if you listen to certain music, like discounting someone's blackness is very offensive. So like I just brought light to that, to share like more of my perspective on that. I also talked about racism a little bit. That was kind of during like the Black Lives Matter time. People were talking about like people taking sides on different things and like does systemic racism exist, things like that. And if I feel passionately enough about something, I'll write a blog on it. And so I think I was really feeling a lot of things, and I was like, I'm gonna get this out and write out my thoughts. But then even sport,
Yeah.
everything I've learned through sport, I talk about too. So like, there was a competition where I broke the American record, and then my competitor broke the American record after me, and like how much of an emotional roller coaster that was. So I wrote a blog about like dealing with losses, and like having one of your best competitions ever, but still losing. So there are so many things, and I just feel like we, as a society, we go through similar things, but we don't talk about it. So then each person feels alone in what they're doing, and then also feels lost in what they're doing. So like I wrote a series for student athletes just because I'm like, if any of the stuff I've gone through can help another student athlete coming up, like you shouldn't have to go through it too. I can teach you, I can give you what I've learned, and whatever helps you will benefit you. And so I think I'm all about like sharing what it is that I've learned so that people don't have to go through it too. And I always have hope that people would do the same so that I don't have to go through those same struggles. Like I can learn from others.
Oh, such a life of servitude. Yeah. I love that. And what people, I'm assuming, have reached out to you and you've talked to them about, certain things, how to improve it. Yeah, what were those conversations?
Yes, people I think mostly will just say like thank you for writing, like thank you for sharing this. Like I had some of my white friends reach out after like the Black Lives Matter post I did and like thank you for sharing this. I didn't know this was your experience. Specifically because in that Black Lives Matter post, I don't remember the name of the blog, but I talked about being suspended as a high schooler, and now I don't feel like I deserve that suspension, and I think it had a lot to do with my race. And a lot of people didn't know that about me. So sharing that story, I think even had an impact on a lot of my friends. Um, and so, yeah, I don't think I've actually had that many one-on-one conversations about my blogs, but I've received a lot of thank yous for sharing it. And I think I appreciate that too.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And I do remember that. And there was racism,
Thank you.
straight up.
Thank you.
I don't care.
Yeah. Check out
Do
the
you still write
blog
your
if you want
blog?
to see the full story.
I was gonna say at KeturahOrji.com.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, do you still blog now?
Very inconsistently. The funny thing though
Mm-hmm.
is though, I have a lot of, so in my notes app, if I ever think about a blog, I'll write it down and I have a lot in the queue, especially now that I'm about to retire. And I feel like I feel more free to talk about things now that I'll be out of the sport. Like I feel like when you're in it, you kind of feel censored a little bit because you don't know how to affect you. But
Yeah.
once you're retired, it's like, feel free to talk your talk.
You can say anything.
Yeah,
Can you give
so
us a preview of some bullet points you want to talk about?
I definitely want to talk about how to choose a coach because, as we talked about, I went through like 3 coaching changes, and so I do want to talk about like what I've learned from like going through different coaches and normalize some things that aren't discussed. Like there were some things I experienced with coaches that I was like, this seems abnormal. But then I talked to more athletes, and it seems like it might be normal as an elite athlete, which is to me
Oh
is not
no,
okay. But that's what
it's
it is.
problematic.
So people
Yeah.
should know that. And then I think I have one about like a lot of them are related to coaching. I can't remember, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll be on the lookout for that. You know I love tea. That's great.
Yeah, I'm not going to name any names. It's going to be all about my experiences and what I've learned. And that's the thing. Like people get offended sometimes on my blogs, but I'm like, I have not mentioned one name in here and I've not actually talked
Mhm.
about a coach. I just said my experience. So if you're upset about my experience,
Mhm.
I don't know what to tell you about that. Like that's what I
I don't know what
felt.
to tell
That's my
you.
story.
If the shoe fits, that's why I was saying, I'm like, why are you getting offended?
Yeah.
You're an offender.
Yeah. And
Oh God.
coaches love to take advantage or like not take advantage, but they'll take credit for like all the good things you accomplish, but they don't want to take credit for the bad too. And it's like that's part of sport. If you're going to take ownership over the positive things I accomplished, then you also
Mm-hmm.
have to take ownership of those mistakes that were made, those competitions that didn't go well. You were my coach then too. So like we can't talk about one, not the other. It's a
Not the
package.
other. That's so true. Wow. When you look at all of it, um, you as Keturah, you as a pro athlete, what do you want your legacy to be?
I think that like from a young age, I've always wanted my legacy to be helpfulness. Like I
Mm-hmm.
like to be known as a person that helps other people when they're going through hard times, when they're in need, like whatever it is. I always want like my friends, the people around me to know like you can always call me up for help. Like I'm not going to deny my people of help. Because we're all in situations where we sometimes need help. We just need someone to come alongside of us and support us. And so that to me is like the most important legacy. But also stewardship, like knowing that like everything that God has given me, I do well with it. Like I use it wisely and I use it to benefit others. So like that's not just like monetary, but that's like the gifts that I'm given. Like, oh, if I'm a good speaker or I'm a good writer, like I'm given that gift for a reason. I want to use it to the fullness that I can.
What role has your religion played in your life?
My religion's everything in my life. I really think it is like this strong foundation that I stand on. And no matter, like I said, this roller coaster of track, like no matter where I'm at on the roller coaster, I know at least I can stand on that foundation. And I really thank my parents for giving me that foundation because there are so many times in life that I don't know if I could have made it without God. Like it's literally God and his word that keeps me grounded. Because without it, I'm like, whew, like life's hard. There's just a lot of hard moments within sport or outside of sport too. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, thank God for his word.
Is there a certain scripture that like you keep in mind that keeps you calm all the time, or that you just remember in hard times?
The one that I mostly use when I'm competing is God has not given me a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power. And I feel like that
Ooh,
one,
love that one.
yeah, that one always brings like calmness over me, especially like right before I jump. Um, but there's also another verse about like whether, I don't know, I'm going to paraphrase, but it's like whether the tree blooms or whether there's like no fruit that shows, like I'm going to continue to praise God, and just talks about like, regardless of circumstances, I will continue to like praise God for who he is, like, and everything that he's done for me. It's not about, oh, I did well, so thank God. It's like, no, whether I do well or not, thank God that I'm here and have been able to do everything that I have.
I don't remember, was it the first Olympics you were at? Your mom sent you like a scripture or something? I might be misremembering. Oh, it was some competition. Your mom sent you something. Do you remember what it was? What was it?
So there's two things you could be thinking of. One of them was my mom wrote a number on a sheet of paper once, and it was a distance, and I was nowhere near jumping that distance, and I was confused. So I was like, why? She sent it in our family group chat, and I was like, why did my mom just send this number? But my parents like aren't super into track, so I was like, she probably don't know what it means, like whatever. And then my parents that same year, or maybe like the next year, my parents came to only one competition that year. And at that competition they were at, I jumped the exact distance that she wrote on that sheet of paper. And I hadn't remembered. It wasn't like I had been thinking about like that number. I literally saw that number once and never, like I was like, I don't know why she sent that in the group chat, like forgot about it. And then later on when it happened, I was like, oh my gosh, that is the number that my mom wrote on the sheet of paper.
Are you serious? Wait, what was the number? Why'd she write it?
Well,
What?
my mom has the gift of prophecy. So like to me,
Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? What's the gift of
that
prophecy?
means that God gives her words about like people, and she can either like speak it to them or not speak it to them, but like God gives her wisdom about people. So like for example, sometimes in church, the pastor would be like, does anybody have a word? And my mom would be like, oh, I have a word. She'd go up there and like say like, God's telling me someone in this room needs to hear XYZ. I want to share this verse with you. Like she doesn't know who she's talking to, but God's given her this word. And then sometimes that same day, the pastor would preach from the like verse that God had given her. And I'm just like, this seems suspicious. I'm like, y'all talk before church.
You guys in cahoots here? Don't play me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like even like the way, this isn't really the gift of prophecy, but like she prayed over us like having gifts, like all of her children having gifts. Like before we were
Wait,
born,
explain
she
that.
consistently prayed over us having like gifts. And like my sister's a dancer, I'm a track and field athlete, my brother went to Juilliard, my older sister wrote a book. Like it's just like very clear that God answered that prayer of hers. So like my mom's faith is really what has really like catapulted me to the faith that I have today, and the way that she's like honored God with her life. So yeah, that's one of the stories. The other story, I don't know if you're referring to this one, but
Oh, wait. Before we get to the next story, I'm still stuck on this prophecy thing. I'm sorry. Well, Rachel told me when I talked to her last week that your mom, because she felt that she didn't have any skills, right? When she was younger, she was like, you know what? She prayed over each one of you guys that you guys would have a skill. And then that's how, you basically have this crazy array of siblings that do like everything and not the same thing either, which I think is so cool. Has she always been like that? Even like when she was younger and stuff?
You're saying younger as like a kid? No, I
Growing
think
up, like was she always been prophetic?
no. So I don't know when she became a Christian, but I would say it was like her early 20s if I had to guess.
Okay.
And so her faith really grew, especially as she was like starting to become a mother. I would say is when her faith like really started to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta have a conversation with her. I got some questions.
Yeah. Get on the
but, all right.
podcast. We getting everybody on the podcast.
So let's talk about this prophecy you're talking that you're so good at. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then so then the second story.
Yeah. So the other story that came to mind when you brought up what you did was my freshman year of college. I was doing really well at first. And then I started to like get this fear of like fouling and was like much more cautious at meets. And I remember after NCAA qualifiers, which is like the meet, you have to place like top 12 or something like that to qualify for national championships. I remember I was like ranked number 1 in the nation and I barely qualified. And I was like freaking out and I called my mom. I was like, yeah, I think I'm just scared I'm going to foul. It's messing up my approach. I told her like all this stuff. And she's like, you know what? Well, every day you're going to call me. We're going to read this verse together, this chapter of the Bible together, and we're going to pray. I said, okay. She got me right back. I went and jumped over 14 meters for the first time at NCAA championships, performed really well. She got me right back. So that's why when I talk about faith being my belief being my foundation, it grounds me. When things are going bad, Jesus is going to ground me. He's going to bring me right back to where I need to be. And so, yeah, my mom really helped me through that hard time my freshman year with the way that she was like, I'm going to show up for you every day and we're going to pray through this.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, the power of a Black mom. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. And then you even like took that faith into the partner you wanted to have with Kashan, right? Although I don't think he was as faithful as you were when you guys first met.
When we first met, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely grew into it.
Was that more of a change for him because he knew that he liked you so much, or did he just want to get into his faith more anyway?
No, he desired it before. So like I remember when we were when we were just friends, like starting out our friendship, he was like, "Oh, I actually want to read the Bible," and I was like, "Oh, do you want to read it together?" And that was kind of how our whole relationship started.
Oh, the Bible and scooters. I love it.
Yeah, I guess on our next podcast we'll have to talk about Keyshawn and I.
Exactly. Oh yeah, this is only part 1. Part 2 we will be in Paris together. So you're right. This is a great place to end it. And thank you so much, Keturah. I just, I appreciate you. You know that. We've been friends forever. And we'll be friends forevermore as we go on. But thank you so much. Well, again, this is only part 1. Part 2 will come when we're in Paris with Kashan. She'll be done with track, It'll be in her rearview mirror like track who. Exactly. New number who it is. USATF, no, but give me my flight back home. So excited to see what you do in Paris. Either way, me, everybody are so proud of you. And and then to see even more what you accomplish afterwards. I'm just excited.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. This was really fun. I think because we're friends already, it just makes the podcast flow more and you know more about me, so you can ask really great questions. So I feel like this is going to be probably one of the best podcasts I've ever done.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you later, girl.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Hey there, one more thing before you go. First, thank you so much for watching and listening. You didn't have to. You could have done literally anything else with your time. So I am so appreciative. Number 2, if you liked what you heard or you resonated with anything, please like, comment, subscribe. Do all the things. All the links will be in the show notes so we can continue exploring this wild, weird, wacky, and awesomely wonderful world outside of work.
Go
Get your
dogs.
money.
Go
Get your
dogs.
money.
University of Georgia. I know y'all got that bag.